So welcome to 2025, the first video from DVS of 2025. Don't worry, we've been working really hard over the last few weeks, especially over Christmas. We have some fantastic new products coming to you. Hikvision have just released a plethora, Gavin Dunleavy's favourite word, of product that will be coming to you shortly. We've been busy testing these and we look forward to bringing you those updates very soon. So stay tuned, there is some incredible product coming. If you thought the Colour View product couldn't get any better, you're very mistaken. That is going to be the best selling product of this year, no doubt. But for a quick and easy way to break you into 2025 and all things Hikvision for this year, we're going to start with a nice software package. So, I'm Dave Davis, CTO of DVS. Welcome to 2025 and our first video of the year. Make sure you like, share and comment as always, and thank you for all the support in 2024 and previously. Now this is a fantastic bit of software. They keep developing, enhancing, making their software packages better. And this one software, which I will go onto my PC, I've got it set up over there, we'll do a screen recording of it. It's really, really good. So if you want a tool that can do batch configuration, well, you had a batch configurator before, this is the new version. Batch configuration, deployment, maintenance, firmware updates, SADP, password resets, all in one. This is the tool for you. SADP, fantastic tool by itself. This is my new favorite tool. Now on the Hikvision's website, so this is a big screen, and yes, I am quite short, so I've got the trusty pen. If you go to hikvision.co.uk, you can navigate to the top, go to support, and under tools, so installation tools, installation and maintenance tools, there's some new tools on here. See, the old batch configurator is there. This HiTools Delivery on the left, so HiTools Delivery is the one we're looking for. Simply click to download it. This is an interactive Hikvision IFP. I'm not going to download it onto this, I've already got it on my PC. HiTools Delivery, that's what you need. I'm going to show you a quick 5 minutes. This will revolutionize how you deploy, program, test, look for firmware moving forward. So I'm going to transfer you over to the PC. We're super excited about this, but as you can see, lots of new tools on there. So the SADP, web plugins, LCD displays, LCD tools, and all of the other stuff. You've got management software, so the VS players for the Mac as well. Hikvision USB, Hikvision Micro, remote backup, local service components, web components, LED batch controller, Hikvision MVA for some mobile analysis. All these different tools. Go and take it out. And then the product selectors and system designers, HiTools and Thermal Design Tool. Now, HiTools Designer is an all-in-one tool. We're going to do a separate video on that. Very, very thorough, but it is going to be quite an involved video. So we'll leave that to probably the second or third video of this year. We're going to break you in gently for 2025. We hope you're excited about the journey we're going on. HiTools Designer, but go back to management software, sorry, installation and maintenance tools. HiTools Delivery. Go and get it. Now I'm going to transfer you over to our PC over there and you'll see why I think it's so good. Okay, so as you can see, we've moved over to the PC. What I'm going to do is load up the Hikvision website again. Hikvision.co.uk, Hikvision.com if you're not in the UK. As you can see, very familiar with that page. So under support, sorry, my mouse is a bit quirky. You've got the product selectors and designers, which I talked about. So you can download and use them. We will do separate videos on them. They add a lot of value. Very, very intuitive, very powerful. And you've got the installation and maintenance tools. So we've got HiTools Delivery, but you can see all of the other ones, the older batch configuration, the SADP, web plugin, LED tools, etc. Management software, that's a cool one. The remote backup is really, really good. If you haven't seen that, I'll do a separate video. We did an older video on that, but this is the newer software and integration SDKs. So if you look at the HiTools Delivery, click on download. I've already used this, like I mentioned at the beginning. So I no need to download this. I did use this last week on a site. They had 70 cameras of the same camera model. And what I'm about to show you took minutes instead of hours. Okay, so let's open it up. So HiTools Delivery. So we're going to open this up. Yes. And let it open full screen. And just maximize that for the video. So currently there is no devices added. There were devices added last week when I was on that site. Saved us a lot of time, walked the customer through this, and they will be using this moving forward. It's fantastic software, very undersold. It is quite new, but it's very, very undersold. So we've got a brand new 7-line camera, so it's not activated. So I've taken it out of the box ready. So I'm going to show you the SADP element of this, of the activation, and then the firmware update side of this. So simply going to plug it in, brand new camera. This is about 8 months old. So just going to plug it into our network, guys. If you do want to check out while we're waiting for that SADP for that to load, it takes about a minute for an IP camera. These brand new IDS 7-line cameras are absolutely fantastic. So the Darkfire X, so Deep in View Darkfire X, Darkfire S, sorry, not X, S. So it's the combination of IR and white light. Deep in View, so fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And it's got the anti-corrosive coating on there. And they are available at DVS, so a little sales pitch there. So just waiting for that to come online. Now, as you can see there, like SADP, it shows online devices. So if I expand this, it will show me all of the current devices on my network. So two things to note here, which are really important. One, make sure you've got an internet connection if you want the firmware update side of this software. So you can either tether it to your phone to get internet access if the customer won't let you on their Wi-Fi, or if the LAN network with the cameras on it has internet connectivity, then fine, or connect to the Wi-Fi via the customer's network. Again, really simple to do. My honest opinion is if you're going to do this firmware update side, Wi-Fi probably isn't as stable as you want it to be. So I've hardwired the LAN connection on my laptop into our LAN connection on our network, okay? So we've got two networks, segregated networks, and you're picking up half of the cameras we've got on there. So I would hardwire it in and connect via Wi-Fi or tether it to my phone for the firmware update, because when it starts updating, what you don't want is the Wi-Fi to be unstable or on one bar, lose connection and potentially harm or damage the camera or the back-end product or the intercom, whatever it is you're updating. Okay, so there's a little tip for the day. Another tip is make sure that your LAN connection IP address is the same as you would do for any of our software packages. Make sure the LAN on the laptop is the same as the network segment, okay? So the camera's just loaded because it's gone from 58 to 59. If I scroll down, you can see the camera I've just plugged in has come up as unactivated. So from this software, in fact, moving forward, I probably won't use SADP. I'd use this all-in-one tool, and I'll show you why now. Click on it, and we're going to activate it, okay? So we're going to put a new password in. Yes, I know it's got to be strong. And we're going to activate this camera. So activation succeeded. You can click on view details and that's done. And it gives you more details like the serial number and it's activated, etc. And you can copy that if you wanted to. So if you had loads of them, you can copy this out and then put it into like an Excel spreadsheet if that's really what you wanted to do for your own or your customers' records. So now, once you've activated it, it's come up with this network parameter. You can set the IP address. But I'm going to enable DHCP, put the password of the camera in, very much the same as SADP, okay? And click on OK. Click on View Details, and that has applied it. So I'm going to click on OK there. So DHCP is now enabled. It should have given it a DHCP address unless our DHCP server has gone offline, which we are having a new network in. So let me just check. If I refresh it, so it's a 7387 there. Click refresh. And the quick way to search this is just check for any odd IP addresses. So, well, that's not our one there. So if I go down here, so it's given it our DHCP server isn't currently working. So you can see there it hasn't issued the correct address. That's no drama. I can simply click on here and go and enable that. Give it an IP address, which will be 10.4.234.189. That should be okay. IP gateway is 10.4.234.1. So if you don't have, apologies, if you don't have a DHCP server, that's fine, just do it manually. We do have a DHCP server. We've literally yesterday segregated our network into 3 networks. Long story, quite boring story. I'll tell you about it at the bar if you want. But our DHCP server doesn't quite work. It will work on one of the network segments, but we're just getting them to reconfigure it to issue it across all 3 segments. So there was a worry that that wouldn't happen. So let's save that. That's succeeded. So if I click on there, I can now see it's now saved. It won't give me the IP address, but if I now refresh it and then look for 189, so if I scroll down here, look for 189 there, shout if you see it. I've probably gone past it. I should wear my glasses. .189, yeah. Like SADP, apologies, really couldn't see that. You can click on the hyperlink there. So click on it and it opens up a web browser. You can make sure the IP address you've set is correct. It should be looking at the ceiling, which it is. Just to show you it is that one there. You can see there. There we go. I'll put it like that. There we go. Hello. Uh, yep, the new slimmer Dave, everyone. So, not going to do any more configuration on the camera itself. You can see there, SADB function is really quick and easy, and it's there. Now, I can add this to the device list. So if I select this and click add to device list, yes, type the password in, and you don't have to activate your camera to do this. Like I said, you can see all the devices that are already in the list there. So technically, I could select all of these devices and add them into my device list, the device management list. They're all on different passwords, so it would fail largely. I've got 9 or 10 different passwords. So I'm just going to do this one to one, but you get the idea. Most of you will have dedicated passwords for dedicated devices. So in the device list, it's online. So online device is very much the same as the SATB standalone function tool. Now, where this is really cool, now I can select this camera. Now I can edit it, click in there, so edit the IP address of the information, etc. I can click on configuration, which opens the web page, but then that's easy to do anyway. You can just hyperlink click it. Now I can set the time. So I can say it's not in Beijing, it is actually Dublin, London, and Edinburgh, and then manual time sync or MTT time sync. Sync with computer time, yes. So 9:01, that's now synced. You can see the time is now taken from the camera. And if I open up the camera, the time should have synced. We'll get the OSD display, hopefully in a second when it loads. Let's do the substream, make it quicker. Needs to plug in. Okay, let's do it this way round. So if I go to online devices and down here, it hasn't done the time. Okay, let's see why. Did I not click on OK, everybody? Double in. Yeah. Oh, I didn't click on OK, did I? Sync with computer time. And then OK. There we go. Succeeded. My bad. Click details and now it's applied. Now if I go back there, see, it's all learning. Even I'm learning. There we go. Now that's correct. Apologies, I just didn't click OK. That's really important, actually. If you do any of these functions, make sure that you click the OK button. And it adds it as a task. Now, I can restart it, so select it, restart it. I can reset the camera back to factory resets. I can change the password. And you've got so if I wanted to, I could select it and change the password. And then old password, new password. And if you've got a batch of them you want to do, and they're the same password and you want to update it, highlight all of them, type in the old password and what the new password's going to be, and it will batch update all of them. Very simple, very quickly. Now, what you can do as well is reset, restart, set time. This is the best function in the software. So, upgrade. I can click on upgrade, and there's two options. Local upgrade, so I can select the local file. So if I've been sent a customized firmware, or I've downloaded it from Hikvision's website, which is the primary area for firmware now, or one of the portals, you can do a manual one, as you did before. Or I can select online upgrade, and what this does is go away and look for any new firmware in the Hikvision server. So it looks at so as you can see there, it looked at the model number, looked at the Hikvision server and said, your model needs to be updated. So we're on 5.8.1, 5.8.2 is the latest version. So in essence, if I had 50 of these cameras, what I would do is, if I had 50 of the same cameras, which is really normal on a job, like it was last week on the job I went to, add all of the same cameras to the device manager. Select them all using this list here, using the tick icon. Click on upgrade, and then it will find the firmware for all those models. And all you need to do then is, yes, that is the latest firmware, so I want to select it. Now, sometimes it might do 2 or 3 different firmwares. Obviously, select the most appropriate, the most modern one. So, configuration, parallel or serial. So we're going to leave it as parallel, and concurrent, it will do up to, from minimum is 10 up to 60 at a time. Now, I would leave it as the default 10. That means it'll go onto the network and update 10 cameras at the same time. So if you've got 60 cameras, it'll do 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. It's very quick. So 60 cameras will take around 5 or 6 minutes, okay, just to show you, and that's with the reboot as well. I wouldn't personally put it up to 60, but if you've got a very stable, very reliable connection, you've got 200 cameras, you could do 60 and it will go and update 60 cameras at the same time, therefore making the time overall reduced. So we'll leave it at 10. We've only got one camera. We're going to click on OK. It then adds to the task list, and you can see it pops out and says there's now a task. This little blue icon is the task center. If I open the task center, it shows you all of the tasks that have been completed, but I want to show all the ones in progress. So as you can see there, it's updating the package on that camera now. So directly from the internet to the camera to do the upgrade, and it gives you the progress there. Now you can pause it and you can delete it. Once it's started, I would not touch that. I would just leave it, but you can pause it and you could delete it. Deleting it halfway through is probably very detrimental. But now all I need to do is wait for that to get to 100%. So depending on the camera and depending on the size of the firmware, depending on your network, will depend on how long this takes. It's a single camera, network is quite strong, so it should take 2 to 3 minutes. It is an IDS 7-line camera, which generally has higher firmware because they have more capabilities. There's more functionality, more features, more updates for the higher end deep in view 7-line and 8-line cameras. Therefore, this will take longer than a standard 2 series, okay? But we're going to let it go and do its thing. And as you can see, last week, I did these last week. If you look at the ones I did last week, which were the 13th, so you can delete them out of here when you finish, or you can click on it, and it shows you 106 seconds or 214 seconds, 485 seconds. If I click on that task, it shows you all of the cameras that were updated. So I did actually do 36 in that pass, and then another 36 in another pass, then the NVR. And you can copy this out. You can copy this out if you want to. Well, I suppose you could copy it out and then right click and copy it and put it into an Excel. Do you need to? I don't know, but it's there if you want to do it. But I hate when it does that. In progress, 72%. And again, if you've got loads of cameras, this is invaluable, literally invaluable. But again, it does take a minute because it is a big camera. What I'll do is I'll pause the video while we don't want to sit here, we'll listen to me baffle on. Okay, so we're back now. It has upgraded, incompleted. You'll see there the one that I just did there, yeah? So again, for reference, you can clear them out if you want. And then, so that's the task center there. So once you start all this, you'll see that from there. It's got a really good piece of equipment. So add all your devices, select them, upgrade there, and again, local or the online. But you can also do by main program or by module. That's more for like specialist stuff, more like intercom product that you're updating via the main intercom. You don't need to do that. Most of it's going to be this method here, okay? So just stick to this method for now. And then click on that. So, mouse is like 2 seconds. So with the upgrade file path, if I select that and select the firmware, like you said, or like I just showed, you can click get, search, but there's no firmware in there that matches that serial number. Okay, but it's upgraded anyway. This online update is fantastic. Some other options: set time, like I showed, restart, restarts the camera, reset, and then you've got change password, SDK protocol compatibility mode, disable or enable, and succeeded. If you're going to use SDK, you want to enable that. That is like the biggest part. Well, that not the biggest part at all. Lying there completely. That's one of the best functions of this software is the ability to do that online firmware upgrade. So SADP function with the firmware upgrade effectively. Absolutely fantastic. Right. So a couple more things. So that's device management. So pre-configuration. So you've got select pre-configuration template. Start from configuring a pre-configuration template after the device has been connected to the network. So you've got entrance exit template, video intercom. You can import them, and you can do camera template. So if we want to build a camera template, so we've got 100 cameras because they're the biggest sort of devices that you're going to deploy on the network. So the most common. Click on camera template. You've got online configuration or import configuration file. So you've got online configuration, configure parameters on HiTools Delivery, or import one that you've already previously built. So IP configuration mode, auto or manual allocate the IP address, number of devices, and activation password. So I could put the password I want in there, and I could put 100 devices in there. So auto allocate IP addresses. Click next. So use the scanning tool in your phone to scan. Connect your phone to the same LAN as the HiTools Delivery. Open up the scanner. Use your native camera to browse it. Use the scanner to scan the QR code. Use the barcode scanner. Connect into your PC to scan. Enter manually. So basically, I'm not sure if I'm in the same network. Is the only problem. No, I'm not. I'm not in the same network. But effectively, I can open that. Open the camera, and it takes you to the web page of that camera. It's not going to load. It's trying to load it, but I'm in the network I'm on is not allowing me demo network access. Let me just see if I put myself into a demo network. I'm not sure if I'm right. Let me just see. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, I can't connect to the same LAN. It's not bridged across, and that's a work in progress thing. But 3 methods really. So the idea is, let me go back a bit because I don't want it to be that confusing. So if you've got 100 cameras, so when we go back to the start, where I put 100 cameras, you've got 100 cameras plugged into a network, hypothetically. Yeah, let's just say 10 then to make it easier. 10 cameras plugged into a network. This laptop is plugged into the same switch. I set the activation password and I'm auto allocating an IP address to it. Yeah. So you click next. You can save this as a project. So I could say DVS phase 2, for instance. You can save it. Click next. So I can connect the LAN on my laptop to that switch and my phone if there was a router plugged into it with that was allowing my phone Wi-Fi access to the same thing. So you scan the QR code and that would open up and get the serial numbers, but it's not on the same LAN. Method 2, you can use a USB barcode scanner. So plug a USB barcode scanner, they're like 20 quid on Amazon. Plug it in. On the box itself, you'll see there's a serial number sticker there. You can scan that serial number with a barcode scanner and it will input the serial number into there. Or I can type a serial number in there. So AE7 465604, for instance. Get rid of that. If you want to bring that up, click on there and it brings up. So we've got 3 methods to populate the serial numbers. The activation password is populated because it's done from the previous screen. Now, if all of a sudden I had an 11th camera, I can just click add and it adds another line in. So DHCP, that's the serial number of the product. Okay, so manually enter it, scan it with a USB scanner or connect it to your phone using the camera on your phone, but your laptop's got to be connected with Wi-Fi access to that switch. So that's a little bit more complicated. And then you can put a note on there, camera 1, front door. Okay, and then you fill all these in as needed. So you got to go fill all these in. The problem I got now is, as you can see, they're not correct serial numbers, so it's not going to let me do it. So if I go back and just put 1, now I can click next. So I filled all the details in. Select the time zone, manual NTP time sync or manual sync. We'll do manual sync. Sync with computer time, yes. DST, enable it, and then put the start and end time, and the BIOS would be 60 minutes in the UK. And then stream type. So you can set, if I want to set it, click yes for video and audio, yes for time. You've got to select the boxes. Mainstream. Now let's say this was a 4 megapixel camera. You set that for variable bit rate, maximum bit rate 3072, video code H265. Off. And then substream. You've got to do all of the settings or it's not going to work. Variable 512 H264 off. Audio encoding, standard one we'll just use. Enable ISUP. If you pick that, you have to fill all the stuff in. If you don't want to enable ISUP, ISUP is our back-end connection to like Hike Central. You can leave it blank. Click next, and you've got all of the details on there that it will set. Okay, I'm not going to show you the password. And click complete. You can click export, which will export that to a file location on your desktop, especially if you've got loads of cameras. And that's it really. I'm not going to click complete because it'll try and do it. So if I click complete now, click apply will go off and do that camera, or edit parameters will take you back to it. So if I click complete, it tries to do it. You select quick apply and it will start to do it. The camera's offline. It's not that camera isn't the right camera because I've already completed it. But you get the idea. So under pre-configuration, you can pre-stage most of the settings for the cameras and then populate it, add them by the serial number. They have to be online. Add them by the serial number, and that's how it will populate it. And once it's done, it goes into this task scheduler here, and it will be completed. So that's another quite quick and easy way to do the password, like the video encoding, etc., all in one go. Now, if there's loads and loads of settings, it might be easier just to go into the camera individually. But if they're the common settings, which they are, it's easier to use this tool. So that's nice and easy. And you can see all of your projects that I would do. Once they're completed, they go into the projects list here. And then I can add a project, DVS phase 3. No, DVS. Add it in there. And then you can start saving projects in there. So if I select projects here, and that's where the drop-down project is there. I can add devices and change them using this here. So you can go between different jobs. Every job you could select, and that's the one I saved it against originally. It's the default one. Today's, well, it's actually the original job, but yeah, you can see how easy that is. And then the device configuration, it's like the camera, so I can select, it's got to be online, the camera. So you can select each camera as they're added. So if you add loads of devices under device management in the job here, like if I added all of these devices here, which I'm not going to do because it's a demo video, you can go into device configuration, you can select the camera, and you can start selecting and batch configuring everything from here. So time, you have to tick the box again and then click apply. If you don't tick the box, that won't be applied. But you've got all of the settings here, video and audio, display, and you can change all of the different settings there. OSD, so you can put the OSD text in, move it around, set it to there, move it as you need to. SNMP, 8021X, TLS, certificate management, ISAP, Connect service. Now, yes, I want to enable that. And then you can put the verification code in there and then apply it. OnVIF, if you want to enable it, click it, yes, and then put the details in. Cloud storage, we don't have cloud storage. That will appear, but it's not applicable in the UK, just so you know. So if you don't ask any questions about it, it's not there. And you've got motion event, FTP, email, VCA resource. You can even set the VCA resource. So you can select the smart event, click OK, and then you've got a separate menu there that appears. Intrusion detection, line crossing, HEOP. This camera has the ability to do the HEOP, so add in a third-party application that's supported by Hikvision. And then smart event, you can, well, I've already picked it now, but I'm not going to update any of it. And then import device parameters, you can select the file and custom configuration. Once you've ticked all these boxes that you've set, so you've enabled all this, you click apply. Like for instance, if I just do this Height Connect one, and let's do A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the only one I want to apply. Click apply, and it's done. View details, done. I've only updated one, but you can see from this device configuration menu, it allows you to do all of the configuration specifically for the cameras. So if your web browser is not that good, or you want to do an online configuration, you can import it from a file. If you've got all these settings, so once you've done all this, you can import the file, look. So really straight and easy. So online configuration or import. If you want to download the template, click download, desktop, yes. On the desktop, you can see here, all that's done is enable it protocol. So you just fill this in for that camera, or any camera. So enable protocol version 5 server address. That's just for ISA. But if you do this, go back to apologies. So online configuration or import from file for that ISA. And it's the same with some of the others, look. Enable. Really good tool. Love it. Batch configuration, absolutely fantastic. But you have to pick the appropriate ones. If you don't pick it, it won't get uploaded, and therefore you don't actually have to fill it in. You get the idea? Nice and simple. And then the test function here, it's not, this is a fixed lens camera, but if it was a PTZ, you've got the test functions there for all of the different, you can set presets, or everything from here, event test, motion detection, line crossing. Once you set them all up, it gives you a list of the device list, and the real-time events will come in here, and what needs to be triggered and tested. And then platform test there. It's not actually online. I haven't added it to Height Connect. So not only can you do batch configuration, you can do the test there. What you can also do is remote configuration, go into the camera. So anything that you need to set up specifically, you can do it from that remote configuration. But that's so cool. And again, network video recorder, you select it, same, access control, video intercom, turnstile, entry exit, and parking guardian. All these have their own separate device configuration. This is a one-stop tool. Definitely something I'm going to be using moving forward. And your report, so I can export that report if I wanted to Excel. Gives you everything here. So all of the stuff you've set in there will be in there. Nice and easy. And you can hide that if you're doing a lot of work. But if you're doing a lot of pre-configuration, or if you're pre-staging it before you leave your office, so like it's a pre-configuration before you leave the office, you can do it all from this tool. It's much quicker than doing it, well, each individual camera, but also, I'm going to delete that one because I don't want to get it confused. You know, if you're doing it in the office, you've got video intercom template, that's handy. And then you've got, sorry, I'm going to delete that. Entrance exit template. That's probably not going to be used that much. And then you've got import template, so custom ones from Hikvision. If no template meets your requirement, go to the device management, which is what we did when we added all devices. It's as simple as that. Under the toolkit, you've got IP migration, upgrade package, which I showed you, and you've got the conversion tool, so VS Player conversion tool. So that's going to download it. It's a light version, but you can convert formats in there. I won't show you, do another video on that. And the VS Player itself. So you've got format converter and VS Player. IP migration is quite good. Used in scenarios like IP migration and network replanning. We had to do this last week. You click on this, export a file to your desktop. So if you've got to change networks around, so old IP address, old port number, username, password of the camera, NIC number by default, new IP address, new gateway, new subnet mask. You populate all that information in there. So if it's LAN 1, for instance, where you got 1 by default, just put 1. So if it's a dual LAN recorder, just put 1 because they normally come in via the 1. So just put 1 in there, fill all that in, save it, and then go to import, select it, and that's the start of the process of changing your IP addresses from one IP address range to another IP address range via that export import. I'm not going to do it. We did it last week, but export it and fill it in, and then import and click OK to start, and that will start the process of the migration. Really, really cool. What you want to do is add all the devices into this as well for those devices that you want to migrate. Okay, that I hope you'll find really, really beneficial. Again, the main thing is a bit long-winded. Device configuration is really cool because it gives you individual configuration. Pre-configuration, you can build a file to then make it easier to do like a pre-staged thing. Especially if you're doing the same job. If you're doing like a cookie cutter where it's the same job, lots of different jobs across the country, but it's exactly the same process. Nice and easy to do. Build out the pre-configuration file and use that for each one moving forward. Or you can go to device management, add them there, and then you have that online set time, etc. firmware upgrade. All right, hope you enjoyed it. See you next week for another how-to video, but definitely download HiTools Delivery. It's absolutely fantastic. Cheers, everyone.